Good evening, Americans, and welcome to the Ed Show tonight from New York. Breaking news out of Phoenix, Arizona, where the president was about to speak about jobs this afternoon. The president and Arizona Governor Jan Brewer, well, they got into it on the tarmac. This picture was taken of the exchange. The president was apparently unhappy with something the governor wrote in her book. Brewer didn't like what the president had to say and stuck her finger in the president's face. We'll have more on this with E.J. Dionne in just a bit. We got a lot to talk about tonight. This is the Ed Show. Let's get to work.
All totaled, the tax rate is really closer to 45 or 50%.
Mitt Romney unveils a brand new misleading defense for his sweetheart tax rate. Robert Reich is here to set the record straight. Newt Gingrich is stepping on Mitt Romney's back to climb the polls.
I think you have to live in a world of Swiss bank accounts and Cayman Island accounts to have some fantasy this far from reality.
Sam Stein is here with the latest from the campaign trail. Nancy Pelosi has a grim prediction for a Gingrich presidency.
It isn't going to happen.
Why are you so sure?
There's something I know.
She lives in a San Francisco environment of very strange fantasies. If she knows something, I have a simple challenge. Spit it out.
Former Congressman Alan Grayson is here with the latest. And big developments in Wisconsin today. Scott Walker is raising loads of cash to fight the recall, but that money could mean trouble for the governor. State Senator Lena Taylor is here to explain. Good to have you with us tonight, folks. Thanks for watching. President Obama knows what kind of fight he's in for this year. He was in Iowa today at a manufacturing plant, just what he talked about in the speech last night. The president told the crowd, we can't go back to failed policies of the past.
After everything that's happened, there are people in Washington who seem to have collective amnesia. They seem to have forgotten how we got into this mess. They want to go back to the very same policies that got us into it. The same policies that have stacked the deck against middle-class Americans for years.
This was the same message the president had at the State of the Union last night. The American people approve of the message. A CBS News poll found that 91% of the people watching the speech, they are in favor of the proposals the president laid out last night. Think about that. 91%. Only 9% disapprove. That's a heck of a number, isn't it? But of course, Republican members of Congress, they're with the 9%. They don't approve of policies like this.
It is time to stop rewarding businesses that ship jobs overseas and start rewarding companies that create jobs right here in America. Send me these tax reforms and I will sign them right away.
Republican House Leader Eric Cantor sat on his hands while President Obama outlined a plan to stop outsourcing of jobs in this country. This is a good thing for America. Cantor isn't interested in good things for America. At least that's what it looks like. Even improvements in the economy aren't good things to Eric Cantor.
The bottom line is, overall, this economy could be doing a lot better, and the reason why we're not doing better is the policies that have been promoted by this president in the White House just haven't worked.
Time out. He said the bottom line. I got a bottom line for you, Mr. Cantor. Right here. Right here. Proposals President Obama made in his speech. Here we are. Here's where the country is. 91% approved. That's a CBS News poll. Disapproved 9%. Is that a good bottom line or a bad bottom line? I don't know. I'm just asking because I was in the House chamber last night and I was absolutely amazed at the behavior of some of the members. No need to get angry. It's just a speech. Republicans would not applaud the rebirth of the American automobile industry.
In exchange for help, we demanded responsibility. We got workers and automakers to settle their differences. We got the industry to retool and restructure. Today, General Motors is back on top as the world's #1 automaker.
Did he say #1? You mean we're #1 at something? The United States of America. We're not 3. We're not 2. We have a company that's number one. President Obama didn't take credit for the automobile industry's success. He used the word we. But he has every right, I think, to take some credit. In February of 2009, here's another bottom line for you there, Canner. In February 2009, 72% of the American public said that the United States should not give Chrysler and General Motors a loan. Most of the people were against it. But the president, well, he knew he had to do the right thing for American jobs. I guess you could say that he showed true leadership. The loan saved more than 1 million jobs and prevented a loss of nearly $97 billion in personal income in America. Let's consume that now. 72% of the people. This is another good thing for America. But Republicans can't applaud because that might help the president. They don't want to do that. It's the same thing with good news about jobs.
In the last 22 months, businesses have created more than 3 million jobs.
Where I was sitting, it was to the left. The president's right here speaking. I was sitting to the left, right up there in the balcony, and down below there was about probably 100 Republicans sitting together. You could tell because none of them were moving during the speech. They tried to integrate, Republican, Democrat, but some of them didn't do it. But there was this one section last night, in instances like that, they couldn't put their hands together for anything. Why were you not applauding, Speaker Boehner? Are they following your lead? The numbers are undeniable. 22 months of private sector job growth, and last year was the most growth since 2005. All I'm saying here tonight, isn't this a good thing for America? Have we gotten so cynical in America we deny facts? Deny families having good success as our economy is starting to move in the right direction? Republicans can't bring themselves to applaud this good news, and they couldn't do it last night. Well, look, you know what you saw? You saw the full illustration of a record number of filibusters in action in about 1 hour. Republicans don't have passion for good economic news. They have passion for defeating the President of the United States. But President Obama knew exactly what he was walking into last night. This is why he ended by talking about the shared mission of SEAL Team 6 and what it symbolizes for this country.
No one built this country on their own. This nation is great because we built it together. This nation is great because we worked as a team. This nation is great because we get each other's backs. And if we hold fast to that truth in this moment of trial, there is no challenge too great, no mission too hard. As long as we are joined in common purpose, as long as we maintain our common resolve, our journey moves forward. And our future is hopeful. And the state of our union will always be strong.
I mean, he's like a coach in the locker room talking to a team that has a bunch of hot dogs on the team and a bunch of big personalities on the team. And they have so much potential and they can do so many things if they just come together. President Obama basically was saying last night to the American people, playing to our best impulses of Americans, is that it is amazing what we can accomplish as a country, as a people, if we're not concerned with who gets the credit. Think about that. A coach has got a team. Heck, it's basketball season right now, isn't it? How are these teams going to get to the Final Four unless they're a great team? Part of being a coach is focusing your talent and focusing your team. The president knows that there are talented people within the arena last night, and he's asking them to get together and play together for their fans. I guess you could say the American people. Playing to the best instincts of all of us as Americans. It is amazing what we can do. Did you see what SEAL Team 6 did? It's amazing what we can do when we're unselfish and we don't care who gets the credit because we know that the team, the United States of America, is going to benefit if we just work together. Get your cell phones out. I want to know what you think. Tonight's question. What do Republicans care more about? Creating middle-class jobs or defeating the president? Text A for creating jobs. Text B for defeating the president to 622-639. And you can always go to our blog at ed.msnbc.com. We'll bring you the results later on in the show. Joining me tonight, MSNBC contributor E.J. Dionne, senior fellow at the Brookings Institution and columnist for the Washington Post. I tell you what, it's all about teamwork. I believe you wrote about that today, E.J. Dionne. Did you not?
Yeah, no, I thought it was really striking the way at the beginning and the end of this speech he used the bin Laden attack and the killing of bin Laden to talk about community. And, you know, those words, common purpose, common resolve. And I really think this is a big argument in the country between people who think that the only thing that defines us is individualism and our love of individualism. And I think the other side that also values individualism and individual freedom, but says we don't work well when we don't have a sense of community and we don't work together. So anybody who likes elections that are about big things, I think, is going to like this election.
In a new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, EJ, the number of Americans who think the country is on the right track is up 8 points from last month, 13 points since October. President Obama's approval rating right now has never been this good in the last 6 months. Is obstruction hurting Republicans more than it's hurting the president? I mean, the American people, they love streaks. We love winning streaks. When we hear that there's 22 months of private sector job growth and how public sector jobs are going down, government job numbers are going down. I mean, the Republicans should be loving this stuff, but they just can't bring it to themselves and say, hey, you know, we're moving in the right direction. Who's winning and who's losing on these numbers?
Well, I think the president is gaining ground for a bunch of different reasons. One, and we talked about this before, he finally went on offense after that mess during the summer over the debt ceiling. And I think people like their presidents to look strong and make arguments. It's what made Ronald Reagan popular, and I think it's made President Obama more popular. I think people are starting to feel, and there are a lot of other numbers that suggest people are starting to feel that this recovery may actually be taking hold. So sure, people are still hurting in a lot of places, but they are feeling better about of the long term. And then thirdly, I think you're right. I think the Republicans have really lost ground on this obstruction, and they really, really misplayed the fight over the payroll tax cut at the end of the year. And I think John Boehner knows that. I don't even think he wanted to go down the road he ended up going down for a while, but I think that hurt him too.
At the top of the show tonight, moments ago, I showed the audience this picture. I'm sure you saw it. This is Arizona Governor Jan Brewer, visibly, as we can see from this picture, upset with the President of the United States. She wrote about a meeting that the two had in the Oval Office, and the president took exception to it. She delivered a letter to the president when he arrived in Arizona and handed it to him, saying that she wants to meet again. The president said he would meet again, and then this heated exchange took place. The president ended the conversation. But E.J. Dionne, I have never seen anyone, any elected official in the history of this country, unless I'm missing it, treat the President of the United States like this. What is your take on this exchange? And from what you see of this picture, I guess we could say a picture tells 1,000 words.
It's a great picture. It's an amazing picture. I mean, I suppose you could say Governor Brewer will sell books and help herself with her